So technically, you guys should have learned this in Algebra 1, but then they cover it again in Algebra 2. It says the function of g is defined where a is a constant and g of 4 is equal to 8. So what that means is if I were to graph this function, when I say g of 4 equals 8, what I'm really saying, the point 4, comma 8 exists on the graph, right? When x equals 4, my y value equals 8. So we could go back and find the value of g of -4, but really what we got to do is find the value of a. So if g of 4 equals 8, then g of x is equal to ax squared plus 24. And so when I plug in a 4, g of x equals 8, right? We're going to look at this is the x, this is the y. And then that's equal to a times 4 squared plus 24. Okay? And so what I'm doing is I'm rewriting the equation so it looks like y equals ax squared plus 24. And then I'm plugging in x equals 4, y equals 8. I got all that from this. This is the x and this is the y. So now let's plug and chug. 8 is equal to a, but 4 squared is what? 4 times 4, which is 16, so that's the same as 16 times a, plus 24. Now from here, I'm pretty sure you guys could solve for a. We're adding 24 to a. I got to move things away from the a, so the opposite or inverse of adding 24 is to subtract. And remember, whatever I do on one side of the equation, I got to do to the other. 8 minus 24 is a negative 16, and that's equal to 16a. 16a is the same as 16 times a. To get rid of the 16, I do the inverse, which is divide by 16, and whatever I do on one side of the equation, I have to do to the other. Negative 16 divided by 16 is negative 1. This is 1. 1 times a is just a. In other words, a is equal to negative 1. Now, if you're not paying attention, you might just hurry up and circle a. But the question says, what is the value of g of -4? In other words, I've got to take this equation, y equals ax squared plus 24, and now I know that a is equal to -1, so I rewrite that equation as y equals -1 times x squared, or just negative x squared, plus 24, and I got to evaluate it at -4. So that means I'm going to say y is equal to -4 squared plus 24. There's lots of opportunities to make mistakes here. Now, in order to do this bad boy, what we have to think about is, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That means we do the work inside the parentheses first. Can I simplify this? No. Next, what does E stand for? Exponents. What's the exponent? This is the exponent. So my very next line, the very next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to say y is equal to negative, what's -4 squared? Well, let me write it out. -4 times -4 is what? Positive 16, because a negative times a negative is positive, but it's negative because of this negative sign. Plus 24. 24 minus 16 is 8. I think that was one of the options. And that's how you get a perfect score.